Hey guys, good to be back with you. So this is a little bit unusual today, and don't worry, we're going to get back to bobbing in a second here. But right now I want to play a different game. We're going to play a little bit of World Cup 94. First of all, on the Super Nintendo. Over the next couple of days, we'll play this on a couple of different platforms. Now, the idea behind this is that, as you know, I'd like to rotate a whole bunch of different video topics. I've been looking for a good football video game to cover, and this one kind of caught my eye. I came across it a couple of months ago, I guess now, when I was playing a bunch of different Super Nintendo football games. I'd never even heard of this one, came across it, thought it looked a little bit like Sensible Soccer, and thought, hey, this might be interesting to cover. I actually wanted to do this a couple weeks ago for the video game video, but I ended up deciding not to do it for a variety of reasons. I think I did some other complain about Football Manager video or something like that, which wasn't really all that well received. So we're going to get into that. We're going to play a whole bunch of the different ports of this, starting off with the Super Nintendo port, and sort of see what it's like, because I do want to actually play it. And don't worry, you know, this time I've actually played the, or I've actually read the manual. Here, let me take this thing away for you guys so you don't have to look at that stupid menu. I'm using, just so you know, I use Arch Linux. I'm using KDE Plasma, and for some reason after a recent update, KDE Plasma has it so that when you use OBS, that menu at the top is always on, so who knows. Anyway, this is the game with almost no words on the menus, which is pretty interesting. You'll see in a second here once we got this going. The other thing is that this was made by US Gold, which is actually a British company, if I remember right, not a US company. Yeah, look at this. So when you choose your menu, there's no listing what name the language is. And then you're like, what do I do? How am I supposed to do this? What does this mean? I guess that's not what I want. We'll just choose this one here. Now we'll see how long a match takes. If it takes too long, I'll probably just play one. I think that here I'm supposed to choose which team that I want. by the way, should be Ireland. Are there actually 24 teams here? One of you guys are going to have to help me count. I think that there might not be all 24. So we'll play with Germany because they seem to be good. And we'll just do this. Whoops. We'll do this here. This, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I'll tell you this, this is pretty janky for a 16-bit game. All right, did I do it right or did I do it wrong? What am I supposed to do? I'm just gonna go do this. Okay, that might not be what I was planning on doing. It would be really nice, I think, that if I had, I don't know, you know, some the way to figure this out or something like that. Like if I choose this, I can't do that. I can't go to do whatever that is. Okay, so yeah, we're happy with that setting. Let's just say okay. Maybe what I did is I had the game automatically play the first match or something like that. Yeah, I'm guessing that's what happened. All right, so this is kind of like Sensible Soccer, except worse. What I know from the manual that I just read is that if I push the Y button, I do a professional tackle. That's okay. That was really bad. So we gave up a goal after a couple of seconds. But like I was telling you, this is kind of like Sensible Soccer, except kind of like worse. It's like a real clone of both Kickoff 2 and Sensible Soccer. I guess more Sensible Soccer than Kickoff 2. And that's one of the reasons why I was kind of intrigued with by this game when I played it the first time, trying to figure out like what exactly is going on. Did I just save it and throw it out for a corner? That was not what I intended to do. But yeah, you can see here the game is like breathtakingly fast. Okay, so that's definitely not the shoot button. Maybe the other button here is the shoot button. Yeah, that's the shoot button. Okay, so A is the shoot button, B passes. Gotcha. Yeah, so this is kind of the reason I was wanting to play this game. Of course, I'm always worried that I'm going to end up playing a game that people are going to see and they're going to be like, that game's horrible. This is probably that situation. Most people who are seeing this are probably going to say, why would I want to watch somebody play this game? This game is awful. And I would agree, this is actually pretty bad, at least here on the Super Nintendo. Like, it's really, really jerky. If you're having motion sickness, I don't blame you, because I'm probably going to have motion sickness myself because I can't figure out what I'm doing. And like, these shots are coming in like really, really quickly. Okay, well, X doesn't do anything. Maybe if I push that, oh, that'll kick it up in the air and doesn't really do anything. Yellow card. See, it gives him the card right away. It's not like FIFA where you like have the official running after you. Oh, no, I had to make a substitution because he got injured. I see. It would have been nice, you know, if the game had like told me that. This game is like, you know, if you're having like, you know, some sort of like a dispute with your spouse and, you know, your spouse gets upset because there was something you were upset about that you didn't tell her, right? That's what this game is like. It like doesn't tell you anything. It expects you to just know. And I'm going to tell you, because I've read the manual, that the manual is not really that much help. Like, the manual gives you a little bit of like sort of generic general information, and that's really about it. All right, there we go. That's my kind of tackle. Ah, yes, we know how realistic that free kick is. We always see free kicks that go straight behind you. Anyway, but yeah, believe it or not, this was the official game for the World Cup '94. So I want you to think about all of the football games that were out in 1993 and in 1994 that were trying to capitalize on the planned success of the World Cup. And just look at this. Look at what this game is. Anyway, there's a reason why after this experience... well, I don't have a lot of options there with the keeper. I either like kind of barely nudge it up in the air, and this is like the best team in the game. I either barely nudge it up in the air or I do what I just did there. But yeah, after this, they decided to go with EA for everything. Now, I don't know if that was necessarily the best move or not. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly an expert on the FIFA games. I've played some of them. Of course, you know, I played and reviewed the first FIFA game for the Genesis, which is okay, you know, wasn't that bad. I also did the Super Nintendo game. I thought that the Genesis game was better. The first International Superstar Soccer game is definitely better than FIFA, and I probably should be playing ISS Deluxe right now instead of playing this, but I was kind of intrigued about this game, so I'm going to look at this first. I'm thinking that what I might wind up doing is a whole bunch of these games from like 93, 94. There are a number of them that are actually pretty good. This is, though, definitely not one of them. This is so unusual for me that I thought I really wanted to look into it and try to figure out what exactly is going on. And I'm still not sure I even know what that is. The other thing is that having this information, playing through this game, you know, kind of makes it so it's a little bit easier for me to justify, you know, looking through and like figuring out what's going on. That should be a red card, ref. Oh, I guess you didn't already have a yellow. Okay. Like, I pushed down, and so he kicks it to the right. Anyway, I can tell you right away why this game is a lot worse than, I guess you're controlling like the angle from which you're hitting the ball when you're doing that. I don't know. I don't understand this. But I can tell you that this game doesn't have that natural feel to it that the sensible soccer games have, which is why this game is not as well remembered or as well beloved. I feel like what happened here is that the programming team played a bit of sensible soccer and thought that it was a pretty good game. And what was that? That was really, really bad. Yeah, so if I kick it that way, then the ball goes the opposite direction that I kick it, I think. Good job. Great job. Anyway, so I think that what happened with this game is that the team that was making it were saying, oh, we really like this sensible soccer game. Let's make something that's kind of close. I don't know. You tell me. Do you think this is close? I have no idea why the World Cup '94 mascot is standing there with a key in his hand. That doesn't make much sense to me. All right, well, we should probably get back to Football Manager here in a second. So the reason why I'm doing this is mostly so that I can generate some video that I can use as B-roll for a coming video on this. And like I said, we're going to play, there are a whole bunch of different versions of this for a whole bunch of different consoles, so we can play them and take a look at them. Like there's a PC version. I think there's an Amiga version. I might be wrong about that, though. I'll have to check again. But if so, you know, we'll grab it and play it and all that stuff. I'll try to get through this relatively soon. We might have to play more than once a day just to get through stuff and sort of see how it works and what it's like. In terms of the graphics of this game, it's not necessarily awful. The sound is pretty bad. And the problem with this is just the speed is way too fast. And then the menus are really, really confusing. And then, of course, the other problem is that I don't know what to do on defense to stop that from happening. So if you have experience playing this game, please let me know. Especially if you know what I'm supposed to do there to get the keeper to go the right way. This actually reminds me, honestly, a bit of the first kickoff game on the Amiga, whereas, I'm sorry, not the Amiga, was it on the Super Nintendo? Either the NES or Super Nintendo one, I can't remember which is where, like, no matter what you do, your keeper gives up a bunch of goals, and it's just absolutely ridiculous. Oh, yeah. Oh, well, it's not as much fun as playing the Blades of Steel hockey arcade game was, but it's all right. It's a little bit of something. We can probably go figure stuff out. So what I don't understand is why is it that here on this screen I get actual words in the language, but on every other screen of this game I get nothing? All right. So, like, I mean, it'll tell me here it's Monday, we're playing in the Cotton Bowl, we're playing against South Korea, which is pretty cool. Like, what does this mean? I don't know what that means. Alright, what exactly does this stuff mean? I guess that some of it is like... So this is choosing between the controller and the computer, but I'm not sure what any of it means. Anyway, I'm not going to waste your time like trying to figure all of this stuff out. I just sort of wanted to give you a little glimpse of that, and especially for me to at least have played the game and stuff like that. So there you go. There's that game. A little bit later on today, we'll do some Bobingen and we'll have some real fun. But yeah, look forward. We'll have more videos like this coming up, I think, in the near future. And hopefully we'll be able to get through a whole bunch of these games so we have a good variety. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.